welcome back to the Who Are They podcast. I'm Abby,
And I'm Bailey.
and we're excited to have you here today.
Yes. Actually, I'm like in a weird rant mood.
Yeah, we're excited to have you listening to us, but we're not so thrilled to be podcasting today.
You know, we gotta persevere for you guys.
Well, it's a Tuesday, and I think that really throws us. Normally, we record on a Monday, and it's the beginning of the week when maybe you still have a little bit of energy.
Right. Well, and it's thunderstorming here right now, and so I have no energy because I just want to lay in my bed.
Yeah. So we're gonna get through this podcast and hopefully enjoy ourselves. But
hopefully.
But we might be moving a little quicker today than usual.
We'll see. Or slower because
that's true, actually.
Oh, golly.
Well, I'm going to tell you how my week was.
Okay, do it.
I had a lot of appointments this past week, and it just felt so busy.
Why do you have so many appointments?
Well, it was only 2, but that felt like a lot. I had a dentist appointment, and I got my hair cut. I got 7 inches off. Do you see how short it is?
It does look short. Oh,
it was
goodness.
this long before.
How do you feel with it?
I really like it. Right now, it doesn't look the best because it's been a couple days since hair wash day, but... yeah, I took 7 or 8 inches off, so that's crazy.
That is crazy.
But that was fun, and just with and then I had I went to the choir concert that my students had. I love to go to those. They always invite me, and the 8th graders specifically really wanted me to go because it's their last one that I was ever going to really be able to watch them do. So that was exciting. And then, with Mother's Day this weekend, everything was just crazy, crazy busy. Oh, wait, actually, I can talk about this now on here. I had considered moving to the other side of Michigan, right? And thought, okay, I applied to some jobs because I love the job I work at now. I love my coworkers. I really enjoy it. But part of me wanted something different and to be new friends and people my age because I don't really have a ton of people that I'm really close with here in Midland. And so I applied for a job over there and got an interview, and I had that interview on Friday. So I took Friday off. So I only had a 4-day week, but with appointments and everything, life just seemed crazy.
Right.
Had that interview on Friday, so I had to drive to the other side of the state right after work on Thursday. Do the interview. The interview went well. I liked the people that I talked to. And then came back, and my great aunt was here, and my brothers both had tournaments for lacrosse and for soccer. So we were doing that all weekend. And then it was Mother's Day, and it was so fun to be with family. But back to the job thing, they said they'd get back to me early this week, and I got an email earlier today saying, thank you so much, but we have other people that we're considering for the position. So that's a little bit bummed, But honestly, I'm more just content with knowing what's happening next year.
Yeah.
Than anything else. And I love who I work with, and I love stability, and I love knowing what I'm doing. And I honestly think it'll be really good for me to be here for another year in Midland to really, really decide what I want. Because at this point, I feel like I'm in the in-between where I totally could really enjoy staying in Midland for a while, or staying here, and working where I'm working. But I feel like I'm just beginning to really build my life here and know people in the community and stuff. So we'll kind of see how it all goes and what this next year looks like. But my grandparents and my coworkers are stuck with me for now.
Aw.
So, no, they're so happy about it. So that was kind of my week. Mother's Day was super fun. We just played a bunch of games outside because it was super nice here in Michigan, and had dinner together and everything after watching my brother's soccer games in the afternoon and whatnot. Nice. Oh, and the other thing, everybody, is you almost did not have a podcast last week because like literally no podcast because I woke up in the dead of night on Sunday evening and thought, "Oh my gosh, the podcast." Because I hadn't edited it between all the tournaments and going away to a lacrosse tournament an hour away and then Mother's Day, I had done nothing. So hopefully you enjoyed my labor and hard work.
Yeah. It was like, honestly, last week's episode, one of my favorites.
Oh, wow. Actually, I did enjoy laughing so much. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one point where we laughed so hard over something, and it was so like for like 30 or 40 seconds. It was so
I was
funny.
laughing so hard listening to it. A real quick reading journey. I have not read that much this week because it has been so busy. So I shared last time that I was just finishing book 4 or book whatever it was. I don't know. I think it was book 4. I am about halfway through the next book.
Oh, okay. But you still read.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
Well, I think I'll start my catch up with my book journeys.
Okay.
I read none because well, I was supposed to go out. I went out to dinner with my friend that was supposed to get me the rest of the books, and she forgot to bring them.
Oh.
And then she wasn't at church on Sunday, and neither was I. Oh. And so she's going to get them to me this weekend. And she's got to get them to me before summer because she's going out of town.
That is so funny. I literally thought you were going to be like, I read a whole book.
No, I didn't. No, I started reading because I needed like an in-between book, but I just started it just to have something to read at my boyfriend's house. This book called Circe, which is
I've seen that.
Yes, it's based off of one of the Roman. I don't think she's a goddess, but she's like the daughter of a god. Okay, and it's part of the Odyssey. One of something to do with the Odyssey. Anyways,
that sounds boring to me.
It's fine. I'm like 2 chapters in, but it's no Sarah J. Maas book. Yeah. So I'm having a hard time. I'm like, I don't want to finish this because I'm just bored. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Last week, golly, we continued practicing for our 5th grade graduation. The kids have a song or a dance they're dancing to. Megan Trainor's
Stop.
Better When I'm Dancing. And it's like this whole choreographed dance, and they get into it.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually kind of cute to watch. And then today we were practicing, and they started practicing the solos. And, of course, they sing the song My Wish, by Rascal Flatts that's sung at every graduation.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm sure I would if I heard it, but no.
Yeah, okay, anyways, the one that's like, my wish for you is that this life comes.
I've never heard that.
Never mind. Anyways, I started tearing up and crying when they were singing that song because, first of all, this one little girl in my class that has one of the solos killed it.
Really?
Great. But then for the chorus, the whole room of 150 5th graders started singing that. And I was tearing up because I was like, this is so precious. I was like, these sometimes they're little heathens, but right now they're so precious.
Right.
Singing the song, and I go, I texted my boyfriend later and I go, them singing that reminded me, oh, I do like you little guys most of the time.
Right.
But I was like, it was adorable. And I was like, oh, parents are going to cry. They still haven't called me on my car journey. We'll talk more about that. They haven't called me about my catalytic converter being in, but they also, every time I've had to call them and confirm that something's been done. So I probably just need to call them, even though they said they'd call me. They never call me first.
It seems like they're not very on top of their business.
I know. And it's like the dealership, Ford dealership. So I'm confused. Anyways, I won't put the exact one on blast. But I need to call them back. So my car's still not fixed. But
blast them.
Blast them. Well, it's near my house, so I don't want.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I wasn't going to, girl.
I know you were.
Oh. But this past weekend, I was I worked. I worked all weekend.
Oh
But not
yeah,
as long as I
you're
thought I was going to. I was delivering flowers for there's a like a little famous company down here called Amelia's Flower Truck where they park their flower truck everywhere and you can get
yeah.
cute flowers. But they needed delivery drivers for Mother's Day.
How did you
So
pick up this gig?
they posted it on their Instagram to send your
Oh,
resume in. And you had to be you had to live in Nashville because they're a local company. So I sent in my resume and they would just like I would show up at like 9 a.m. Like they'd be like, we'll schedule you from 9 to 5. So I was thinking I was gonna work 9 to 5
right.
both days. They said you'd probably get off early, but they like scheduled it longer. They scheduled you from 9 to 5. But you'd show up at 9. They'd give you your order. Like I had like 20 different deliveries I had to make
Okay.
and they'd like schedule you through this app where it would say like, oh, here's your next stop, here's your next stop, and it would like route you around until like it would like go in order, this app would, and
Yeah.
then your last order would be back by the shop. It was actually really like,
Oh, good. So it was in like not chronological
yeah,
order, but
like it
like
was in really nice order, so like you weren't wasting time.
good,
But
good.
it actually only took me like 3.5 hours to like deliver all these things, so I
Oh,
would get done at like 1 every day.
here's
So it
my
wasn't that bad.
question. How did they pay you? Like, was it only because I'm curious? Was it
Yeah.
like they paid you, or were they paying you for the miles you were driving?
Yeah, so
Were they
they're well, they haven't paid me yet, so I need to ask them if they don't pay me by Friday, probably.
right?
But they're just gonna Venmo me because
Okay.
it's under $600 or something, and I'm not
Yeah.
technically an employee. And so they're like, if you want, we can put you on payroll. But then I was like, no, just Venmo me. But so they pay me $15 an hour, so 9 to 5
Okay.
is what I'd get paid for, and then they have to do mileage reimbursement.
You get paid
So
9 to 5 even though you didn't work 9 to 5.
yes, because that's what I was scheduled.
Oh,
And then they have to pay me mileage reimbursement, and I got a free bouquet of flowers and a free shirt
that's a pretty good gig. Not
for
gonna
just
lie.
yeah. And the only time I saw them was at 9 a.m. and I would go do all my deliveries, and then I would drop my boxes back off when I was done, and I'd go home. And it really only took me 3.5 hours, and it was fun to just drive in my car.
Yeah,
Most
that does
people,
sound kind of fun.
yeah, most people were not home. So, I mean, I didn't even see that many people. And then the people that were home, it was really sweet because you'd hand it to a mom and she'd just be like so excited.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was cute. But yeah, so that was fun. I worked that. The flowers were pretty and then I got free flowers. I have flowers everywhere right now because they gave me a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was fun. Just drove around. But then I'd finish at like I thought I'd be working later and I'd finish at like 1 every day, so I'd still get to do stuff. So on Saturday, my boyfriend and I we drove down to Columbia, which is like 40 minutes south of us.
Mhm.
And it's this cute little downtown and we got coffee, we went to a bookshop and then we drove around. And then on Sunday, what did we do? I skipped church to do this. Such a little heathen.
Yeah.
Um uh Sunday, Mother's Day, delivered some flowers. We got done. My boyfriend and I got lunch, and then we went on a walk.
Nice.
Yeah, so I found out my next year I'm going to be in the same classroom,
Nice.
but
Would they
I'm
move you?
teaching. They moved a lot of people,
Whoa.
like for no reason.
Oh.
They're like it feels like no reason. But they have moved 3 of the 7 people on our 5th grade team to another grade.
Oh, interesting.
And it was a brand new team last year, and nobody wanted to move.
Huh.
Yeah, so people are pretty mad about it. But
Yeah, doesn't seem quite right, but whatever.
yeah, so and I'm bummed because I really liked my coworkers. So some of them, and I don't really see people in other grades because our
Right.
school is so huge.
Do you know who's
Um,
moved to your grade?
um, yeah, but I don't really know them. Like I
Okay.
heard their names, but I don't really know them because again, I don't see people.
Right.
Nobody my age.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. um. Yeah, and so that's kind of a bummer because I really liked working with those people. So now I got to go through some change, but at least I'm teaching the same subject because 3 of the people that got moved are teaching something totally different, and it was
Yeah,
2 of
that's
them.
really nice.
2 of them, it was their first year, so now they have to basically do their first year again.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So, but next year I'm not teaching science. I'm doing, because instead of being, we were like a 2-person team where one person would teach ELA and social studies and the other would teach math and science. Next year we're going to be the 3-person team because we have 7 teachers. So one of the teams has to be 3 people. And so I'll only teach math, but I'll teach it 3 times a day.
Oh, that's kind of nice though.
Yeah. I was like, it's a little less prep because science was definitely the one that was harder for me to prep.
Right.
So, like, the prep is going to be easier. I'll just have a lot more to grade. So, I'm not mad about that. And I'm not in a portable because I'm in the 3-man team. So, that's nice. We're getting 3 portables next year. So, I'm not in a portable. But we already lost a teacher because she said she didn't want to be moved. And they said, that's tough. We're going to move you anyways. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to go to this other school then. And she did.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on at my school right now.
That's crazy. I always hear that things like that are happening, and it surprises me because my school's just not like that.
Well, it surprises me too in like this the teacher market being as it is, where like I can go, like I could transfer anywhere and teach, like I can teach what I want to teach. Like it's not how it was 15 years ago where it was hard to even get a teaching job.
I know.
I can teach anywhere, especially within the district.
Yeah.
Anyways, we officially have 6.5 more days of school.
I have 11 and a half.
And I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I will.
Trust me, girl, you can.
We can do
I
it.
have longer.
That's true.
I don't think I can do it.
No.
And then I have summer school.
Oh, I'm not doing summer school. I might tutor a kid though. I was asked to tutor someone today, and and I was going to tell you about it.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I don't know if I should take it, but all they want me to do is read with this kid.
Oh, then frickin' take it.
I was like, that sounds easy.
That sounds
Anyways,
so easy.
I have to decide tomorrow.
Well, I was opening the history, and I just didn't want my reaction to be...
open the history now. We're going to move... Okay, now we're moving on to history today. And you know what I realized? We never have described past the first episode what the history of the day is. And I think that maybe we should say that in our episode. Like, the history of the day...
our history.
Yeah, we're... Okay, I guess so. We're going back in our time. We usually just go, this is the history of the day. Anyways, this is a segment of... This is a segment of our podcast where we find a memory between Abby and I back in our friendship that takes place within the week-ish that the podcast releases. Okay.
All right. Well, this one looks like it was from...
Look at the picture first.
Well, I am.
Okay, good.
But when is it from?
2019.
Holy goodness. That's a long time ago.
I know.
Okay, well, 2019, I came home from school, and it was a nice sunny weekend outdoors. I'm describing what happened before I describe the picture.
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah.
Thank you. It was a nice, sunny, warm day outside, and I went out to work with my dad in the backyard, and we had a wooden monkey bar set that the people before us had put in their backyard. And we were breaking it down. And so my dad had given me a hammer, and this was not it wasn't a regular hammer, like not one with prongs on the back. It was a 3-pound hammer. So basically just a mini sledgehammer. Okay. And I was breaking the steps apart because there were like 4 or 3 screws in on each side of the steps. And so it was like, why would we take each one of those out individually? So I just snapped them in half. Well, I get to the second to last one, and I go to smash it. And I mean, I took that hammer like up over my head, boom, down. Well, that hammer hit the step, came directly back onto my forehead. And I just thought to myself, oh my, I must have a very bad concussion. And then I just go, "Oh." And then my father turns around and goes, "Oh." And then says a word I'm not going to say on our podcast. And and then I was like, "Oh crap, this has got to be worse than I thought it was." And then he he grabs something and puts it to my forehead and walks me to the back door. No, he didn't even have a towel. He just walks me to the front door, and I just stand or the back door, and I stand by the back door with my blood dripping all over the back porch as he's like yelling at someone to get me a towel and all this stuff. Anyways, he took me to his work, stitched me up, and that was that. You can't barely see it now unless you get real close and look at it. But yes, I broke my own head open with a hammer. And
you're so lucky your dad's a doctor.
I know. He looked at me just yesterday or just 2 days ago and goes, "We are so lucky that hammer did not have prongs on the back of it."
Yeah.
I know. Anyways, so the picture here is of me probably a week or two, maybe more than a week or two after, but a week or two after I got stitches. And it's me it's just a selfie, I think. And you can tell that here I have much, much worse photos where my whole face is swollen. But this is a nice photo. Like, my face looks normal. You can just see a circle on my forehead that's a little bit swollen and discolored, and there's some stitches right through it. And then there's a video, and I think I know what this is, but I'm gonna watch it here, okay?
Okay.
Okay. What happened when I went to get stitches was that I'm describing this because in this photo you can see up closer my forehead and you can see what it looks like. But what happened when I went to get stitches is my dad decided to start stitching me up and then decided he didn't like the way that everything was laying or that it was coming together and wanted it to look really good because it was my face. And so, no joke, he promised me I could get plastic surgery if it didn't turn out good. But then he decided he was going to take the stitches out and glue it instead. So not only did I have the wound itself, but then I had a bunch of puncture wounds around it because he went to stick needles through me a bunch and then took all the sutures out. So whatever. Anyways, there's a bunch of holes around the actual thing. But this video is Bailey making me laugh, and I am telling you, you do not realize how much you use your forehead in day-to-day life. I mean, you do the littlest thing or you move your face at all, and your forehead is like a part of it all. And you just don't realize it until you can't use your forehead. So it's me laughing and yelling at Bailey to stop making me laugh because it's hurting my head so bad. And it's quite funny. Man.
Good memories.
I know. The funny thing is my family talked about that just 2 days ago.
Well, we were coming up on the anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Your sippy cup.
Stop.
Abby's drinking out of a sippy cup right now.
Let me explain to you,
Okay.
folks, that we weren't going to bring this up.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you are drinking out of it on
That's
camera.
because I want to drink my cranberry juice. No one watches the video, okay? Anyways. So.
That's true.
It's these sippy cups. So my grandma has at her house that she's had since I was like a young child. And tell me it isn't just easier to drink out of something with a lid when you're on a couch.
It is.
It is. Thank you. And so these things are the perfect size and they're just nostalgic. And every time the grandkids are over, everybody argues over who gets one because there's only 2 of them. It's just, get over it, okay? We can still be
I
children at heart.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like my cranberry juice.
That's true. Cranberry juice is good.
Well, let's do our topic. I think it'll be enjoyable.
I think it'll be enjoyable too. All right. Our topic today is delusional or not.
I can't remember where we got this idea, but I feel like I saw someone online doing something similar
Yeah.
a long time ago, someone on TikTok or something.
And you remembered it and you said, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know if these ideas will be good, but I think we'll have some giggles, to be honest.
Okay, let's clarify. We are saying a scenario and deciding if that scenario is delusional or not, correct?
Oh, I'm pretty sure all of mine are delusional.
I think all of mine are also delusional.
So maybe this is just called
But we'll
delusional.
discuss it. You know what? We'll discuss it and we'll decide if there is an instance in which this is not a delusional
thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Would you like to start with one of yours?
Well, how delusional do you want to get first? Because I've got some that are like psychotic.
Let's start like the lowest delusional. Like we could probably argue this.
Okay. Is it delusional or not? So let me paint a picture.
Okay.
I've got a couple similar. Let me think which one I want to begin with. Okay, is it delusional or not to post a story or to post a picture or something? And in my mind right now, I'm thinking Instagram, just because that's really the only social media that I use.
Right.
But for one specific person to see and view and like, or for your story, really just to see it.
My brain tells me delusional. Other part of my brain tells me no.
Because I've done this before.
I have specifically done that.
Well, okay, no. Let me back up. I don't know that I posted specifically for that person, but in posting what I wanted to post, I've thought, this is a failure if I don't gain this certain person's attention, whoever it was I had a crush on.
Like, if I go to the viewers and they're not on it, I go, this is a waste of a great post.
Exactly.
Because I can't post this again because then I'm a freak to everybody else, but I wanted them to see it.
Exactly, because you just want a little bit of attention, even if
like I was looking cute or it was funny or something like that.
Right.
Like, if they liked it in my delusional brain, not even liked it, if they saw it in the delusional brain, it's like, oh, they're seeking out my story to watch it.
Exactly, but they're probably just clicking through like they click through everybody else's.
Yeah, because otherwise people could think that about me. I watch a lot of stories.
I know. But here's my question. If everybody does it, is it delusional?
That's the thing. I think a lot of people do it with that intention.
Me too.
But have you ever looked at an Instagram story and thought, this is for me?
Never.
I don't think I have either. But I have purposefully interacted with Instagram stories.
Actually, me too, yes. So, I have too.
Actually, with my current boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't even remember what he posted. But
what did you do? Did you comment or like?
Yeah, so it was before we started dating, and he posted something, and I should have gone back and found this. I responded to his story.
I've done that.
Oh, you know what it was? He had a podcast at the time, and he was like, oh, new episode out. And we had a joke at the time where it's like, I wanted to be on his podcast. And I was like, and they posted, we have a special guest this week. And I was like, swiped up on it, and I was like, oh, is this special guest me?
That's cute. That's funny.
Thank you. And he said that's the moment he knew, or he was like, oh, maybe she likes me. So is it delusional? Because he thought it too.
Because it works. It works sometimes. Not all the time. Most of the time, actually, I would say it doesn't work. But it does work sometimes. And that's the problem. This is why delusion or not is a thing. Because it works for some people. So everybody thinks, OMG, this could be me.
Right.
And then it's not, because we're not all the same, unfortunately.
I think every girl thinks this way though. Like
I
the
do too.
Instagram story is, but like I don't know if that makes it any less delusional. But
No,
it
it's
does
still
work at
delusional.
times. I responded to his story, and that's when he knew I liked him because I
Well,
responded to his
I don't
story.
think it's delusional to. Oh no, I think it's delusional to think it. I don't think it's delusional like that something could come out of
No, because sometimes something comes out,
something.
but you have to interact. I feel like just
That's what I'm
watching it
saying.
is not doing anything. But
Yeah.
if you're getting interaction, sure.
Okay, what about the flip side?
Okay.
So the flip side is if I'm liking someone's story or like saying something to them, then should I expect them to know that I like them?
I don't think you should expect them to know, but I think that
That's not like that's
it
wrong
gets,
phrasing,
but
but
it
like
also gives a hint, I think. Because, like I said, I responded to my boyfriends before we were dating, and he was like, oh, I think she likes me.
yeah.
And when people respond to my story when I didn't have a boyfriend, I was like, oh, like some responses you're like, oh, no, they're just responding because this is hilarious and this is gold. But
Yeah.
some responses you were like, oh, they're trying to flirt with me.
Mhm.
But it
Mhm.
depends. You know how to tell the difference is it's either like a one and done or they try to
Yeah.
continue the conversation.
Good
Like they're
point. Good
using
point.
it, even if the conversation's only like 3 or 4 back and forths, I consider that a continuing of the conversation.
Mhm.
But if it's just like, cool, and then you say thanks and they say nothing back,
That's it.
that's, yeah, I think that's it. I don't think you can assume they like you from that. But maybe.
Okay. I want to hear one of yours.
Okay. Um, is it delusional that if someone sends me a song or
Oh.
plays a song and says like, "Oh, I thought you like I really like this song," and they send it to you, is it delusional for me to think that they sent that song to me because they're in love with me and this song makes them think of me?
My immediate response is no.
Okay.
But here's the deal because I feel like certain songs make you think of certain people sometimes.
Right.
Although I think in my like for me when that happens, it's because I have memories with those songs and those people. Not necessarily because I don't know. I've never had a scenario like this. But
I have. I had a boy try and show me a song once and it was like a really sweet song, but he didn't like me.
okay,
But I
well,
think I was
first of all,
delusional.
but any guy if any guy sends if you sent me a song and were like, "Oh, listen to this." I'd be like, "Oh, she knows my music taste and she thinks I'll like this."
Yes,
If a
that's true.
guy sent me a song, I would be like, "This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. He's got to be in love with me."
He's in love with me. But again, I think my current boyfriend validates every delusion I've ever had because like I was like, "Oh, I wasn't delusional my whole life" because he got my number because he and his buddy, I was talking to them after like a Bible study and his buddy was like, we were already friends, Marty.
Mhm.
And Marty was like, "Oh,
Oh
listen to the
yeah.
song." And Marty sends people songs all the time. So Marty's like, "I'm going to
Yeah.
send you this song." And then he was like, "Actually," and Jacob goes, "Oh, I want to send you a song too." So Marty put us in a group chat and they each sent me a song,
But that's
but it
not
was just
normal.
so Jacob could get my number.
Yeah.
And then we started talking from that.
Interesting.
And I think that would have made me delusional before.
But I think it should. I don't know.
But also I
It
just like,
depends. All of these depend on the context of how, if you knew the person before, how well you know them.
yes.
Like all of those things put together, I think,
Mm,
determines whether the situation is delusional or not.
mm. Yeah. Or have you ever thought, is this delusional? You're like in a car with people and a song comes on and you go like, "Oh, this song perfectly describes me." And I think everybody here realizes that.
That's delusional. It really is. Because no one is thinking about you when they're listening to it. Like, how often do we sit there and think everyone's looking at us or
Oh, all the time.
people are like, people are talking about us or they think certain things. And it's like, who really ever thinks about me? Not that many people, probably.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Not
All
that I
right, you
don't
share
still.
another one.
Okay. I thought of this because I'm on the side of TikTok right now where there's a girl and her video says, I think I just came up with the song of the summer. Okay? And then the song goes like this. I gotta remember how it goes.
Is it I'm looking for a man
Stop,
in
stop,
finance?
stop. Yes. It goes like this.
6'5".
I'm looking for a man in finance. No. It doesn't go 6'5". I wrote it down. It goes, I'm looking for a man in finance. Trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes.
Blue eyes.
And
It
then
like
finance,
actually hits though.
trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes. I'm looking for a man. Looking for.
You get
And then,
all the people making remixes of it.
yeah.
The
I do.
actual songs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So anyways, I have been seeing this over and over again, and then I've seen men complaining about this, and then people complaining about men in finance and all of these things, okay? So I just thought, is it delusional to keep a list of what you want in a man? Or to have a very specific, I want a man in finance with a trust fund that's 6'5" and has blue eyes?
Okay, I would say it's I don't think it's delusional because I think depending on who you hang out with, if you are determined and you find yourself in the right circles, you can definitely find yourself a finance guy. If you're really picky, you could find yourself a tall one. Now 6'5" is where we get maybe the little delusional. And then blue eyes, not that weird. But I think if you have to be determined about who you're hanging out with and where you're hanging out, because if like you're in New York City,
Yeah.
I don't think that's that far fetched.
Yeah.
You just go hang out in the right places. Somebody's got to know where they're hanging out. Someone can set you up.
Is it delusional for anybody to have super specific things they want in a man?
I feel like that depends. Like, how specific are we getting? Is it like, oh, he trims his cuticles every week? Or is it like, I want a brown haired, 6 foot tall man?
But even, yeah, I don't know. I
I
feel like
yeah,
it's delusional. Not delusional.
if like
Delusional,
that's
I'm not
the
sure is
only
quite the right
thing you
word.
would ever go for, that feels like
Yeah.
maybe. If you're like, maybe you're delusional in what you can actually get.
Yeah.
Maybe like you can't pull that. Is that delusional?
Yeah, actually.
Maybe it depends on the person.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I do not have a finance boy, or is he
Yeah,
6'5"?
I just think that if you have such a specific list, it's not going to be happening for you, and so you're just delusionally sitting there thinking, "Oh, the perfect man is going to come along for me, and I just have to wait for someone that has all the things I want."
Yeah, I don't think it's delusional to have like a list, but I feel like that list should be more character traits, and that's less delusional. I think it's like great to be specific about the type of person you would like to spend the rest of your life with, but also maybe not like physical ones that could be delusional, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if delusional is the right word for this one, but is it delusional that I get mad when I've been thinking about taking a shower and then as soon as I'm about to get up, someone else gets in the shower?
No, that is so real. That is so real. Oh my gosh. I feel
That
the
like happened to
same
me
way.
yesterday and I get like rage in my body and then I go, they didn't know I was about to get in the shower.
No, and it is literally like the smallest deal in the world. But at the same time, you're like, this
Like,
was
why didn't
my
they know?
plan.
This was like now my plan is off and I'm gonna be late.
I only shower in the evening when I have like nowhere to go, so that doesn't normally happen to me. And there's a bunch of showers in this house.
Oh.
But when I lived at home, I fully understand those thoughts.
Well, we have one shower and there's only two of us, but I take a lot of showers.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, yes, that is actually delusional. But not delusional, but maybe petty is the right word.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like
Maybe
that
our
that's
question should really
petty,
be, is this petty or not?
but some of these definitely are delusional
Yeah, that's
things.
true.
That one's just petty, and I understand it because I would have the same thoughts in my brain and be just as upset, but it's definitely petty
Mm,
because they don't have a clue,
no. So I have to remind myself,
which is
literally,
so funny.
stop raging.
Okay, what about, is it delusional to write letters to your future husband?
I feel like I had to. Okay. Yes, it's so delusional, especially because usually when you're writing them, you have like a specific person in mind. So
I
you're not
know.
really writing to your future husband. You're writing hopefully, you're like, this specific person is going to read them someday. So then, if you kept those and gave them to your husband, that would feel weird.
That would be so awkward.
But I remember even in church growing up, there were a few times they had us write letters to our future husbands. Who knows
Ew,
where
in
those letters are?
church?
Yeah, and I was in like middle
That
school.
gives me such the wrong vibes. Now, I
Yes.
apologize to any of our listeners that have done this and really did it with their whole heart and were so
Well,
sincere about it. But it personally, I think it's delusional
it is
and maybe
delusional.
not
I
healthy.
also, at this point, wish I still had the letter because I think it would probably be hilarious.
Oh, for sure.
But there was definitely a time in college where I was also doing that same thing. But
Yeah,
those
I
letters were
remember.
definitely like directed at whoever I had a crush on at the time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
like you
I
could tell
just,
when I got rid of all of them. But
I
I was like, I
just,
can't imagine giving those to my husband.
no,
Okay.
no. I think about these and I just go, okay, I think the only appropriate scenario is if you're engaged and then you start doing it.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And then even then it would be like, read this on our first anniversary or something like that.
Right.
Like,
I just get very uh I don't know the right word for it, but I just don't think it's healthy because hopefully I'll be married someday, but who knows what's going to happen.
that's true. And then you just have a box of letters.
And that's depressing. I also just think that a handful of women in the Christian community were, or younger women at one point, were talking about how they were praying so much for their future husband and they were writing letters to their future husband, that for a period of time that was the really cool thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I think about it, I just go, that is delusional. Like, what are we doing? It's okay to pray for people in our life,
Right.
but to convince myself that I'm going to have something that was never promised to me is a little bit delusional.
Right. And yeah, especially starting from a young age.
Not
Yeah.
just like the percentage of people that get married is very high. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Like, it's
But,
likely to happen, but not like guaranteed.
right. Anyways, that one cracks me up.
Um, my next one is it delusional to think if I met a celebrity, we would be friends?
Oh my gosh, that is so good. No, I mean, yes, okay, that is absolutely delusional, but I think the absolute same thing.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I don't think the same as you. Like, I don't think I would be best friends with. No, actually, I do.
I think if they met me, I would charm them.
Here's my problem when I think about things like this, because honestly, I think about it quite often. I really do. It's not a lie. Um, I just don't know what my opening line would be.
Yeah, and we all know from when you met Chris Renzema that it's not good.
Exactly. And so I think that if I was going to meet anybody famous, and by famous, I mean, or celebrity, it could be someone in the sports world, it could be an actor or an actress or a singer or whatever they may be, okay? Famous, just bigger than me. They have followers, okay?
Right.
Anyone who I know of that doesn't know me, famous, okay? So I just think I would have to meet them somewhere where we were doing something
Right.
or we ran into each other and I already had to speak to them for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like if we had to do any sort of bonding thing, they would be like, "Oh,
She's
we're going to be
incredible.
friends." Yes.
I just think I am quite a catch, and I have such an
Yeah.
elevated sense of self. It's quite bad sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah. I just think the same thing. Like, I just think if they got to know me, they'd be like, "This is a cool girl."
they would love me. Yeah.
And we'd be great friends, and they'd introduce me to all their friends.
Right, and then you would have a bunch of famous friends, and you'd be. I
Without
would.
being famous.
I would never want to be famous, but I would love having someone I know be famous, and they don't have to be my best friend. They don't have to be someone I talk to all the time, but I just want to know, what does it feel like to be famous?
Yeah. Just sit down
What
with
is your
them and ask.
perspective of the world?
Yeah, that is interesting.
And I would want them to be honest with me. That's why we'd have to be friends, so I could actually ask those questions.
Yeah.
Someday,
Mm.
that's what I hope.
Just one famous friend.
They don't even have to be that famous either.
Just like a C-list celebrity.
Could you define a C-list celebrity?
I think of a C-list celebrity as like a Disney Channel star that didn't go
Go anywhere?
past Disney Channel. Right? Is
Okay.
that C-list?
What
Probably.
do you classify as like YouTubers and social media people?
Oh. Depends on how popular they are.
Okay, because some of
Because
those
like I feel like if like A-list is like Brad Pitt.
okay.
B-list would probably be like sitcom people.
Mm.
C-list would be like a step below that.
Mhm.
Like movie stars is A-list.
Right.
Household names.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't need an A-list celebrity friend.
No, I don't
Wouldn't
either.
want it.
But
Too
it would be
much.
kind of fun.
Maybe a little bit, actually.
Okay. What about? I got a couple here. Okay. What about assuming someone likes you because they keep looking at you?
I had that one on my list. You know what? I feel like people fed that information to us.
Well,
Like, if
let me
someone
tell you
keeps
this.
looking at you, they like you. And I think, like, if I'm in an airport as a girl alone and, like, a guy any remotely to my age, if he was looking at me, I'd be like, he likes me.
Okay, well, let me tell you this. My next one was, is it delusional to assume in going to an airport you're going to meet the love of your life?
Why does an airport feel like a magical place? Like, we're just all of a sudden, because you're like exposed to people you would never ever be around otherwise.
Never,
it feels
ever,
like.
ever.
So you're like, this could be where I meet the love of my life, and what a cute little story.
Every
Now,
single
I
time
don't
I go
think
to the
that
airport.
anymore.
Oh, I do.
No, well, I'm also in a relationship.
You're in a
so
relationship. It doesn't
that would
apply
be
to you.
weird if these things no longer apply to me. But I did when I was single think that.
I do all the time, and I still hope it comes true. But you want to know what? It basically did. And
you
I
fumbled
ruined it.
Yeah, you fumbled.
Oh, that was just
Literally, Chris Renzema was in your placed in your lap.
We honestly could. I could have had a
And
famous friend.
You word vomited all over that guy.
Oh,
You had
I
to get on
feel
the same
so
plane, and he left you.
bad. I know.
Anyways,
Whatever.
so funny.
But is it delusional to assume that someone likes you because they're looking at you?
I'm trying to think. Have I ever liked someone so I looked at them a lot? And I don't know. I don't know if it's that delusional.
I don't know that is either. Fun fact: one time, one of my sisters, some guy pulled her aside or like asked if he could talk to her, and he was like accusing her of liking him because she kept looking at him.
That's delusional to
Yes,
confront
I know.
someone. That is how you've taken it to the step of a delusion.
I know. Isn't that horrible? Wouldn't that be so awkward?
Well, what's the point of accusing her? Like, was he trying to be like, do you want to go out? Or was he like, you like me?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
That's so weird.
I know.
Like, so
And
what if she
by
did?
accusing, I don't know if he was like just asking or
like
whatever. I don't remember the scenario, but I just remember it being very weird.
That is so weird. I don't know. No, that's so silly that you would It's not, I don't think it's necessarily delusional to think that someone might like you if they keep looking at you a lot. Because I feel like in high school, if I liked someone, you'd sneak glances at them.
Exactly.
So, no, I would not say that's delusional. Now, he took it to the delusion level with confronting someone and saying, because you've looked at me, do you like me? That's delusional.
Are you done with yours?
No, I have,
Okay, go ahead.
I think one more. Um, oh, wait, no. You took my last one when you said
Okay.
thinking a boy likes to be stairs too long.
I love my airport one. That's for sure delusional, but I will still always think that I'm going to meet the love of my life at an airport, even though we all know I ruin those situations.
Yeah, like
Um,
you weren't delusional. Could have happened, but you didn't execute it well.
yeah, I know. Now these ones are kind of psychotic actually.
Actually, I'm excited.
Well, I asked some people and I said, "What are things that could be delusional?" and they just gave me straight up delusion.
Oh, so these are from other people.
A few of these, yeah.
Okay.
So, they said, "Is it delusional stalking their mom's Facebook?"
Oh, I have done that.
Oh, me too.
I don't think
Multiple
that's
times.
delusional. What's the delusion part of this? Like thinking they like me because I stalked their mom's Facebook?
I don't know. Really where the delusion is, not sure.
I just feel like if you like a boy at all, you're stalking him on all fronts and you figured out his entire life because you can't trust his Instagram. You've got to use his mom because his mom probably has better photos of him.
Yeah. You have to go to his friends on Instagram and find everyone with the same last name as him
Because
and
literally,
go stalk them.
yes, because I think it's a universal girl experience where you're like, oh, this guy's so cute, and then you go to show your friends and you look at his Instagram and your friends are like, he's not that cute, and you go, I promise, his Instagram doesn't have good photos.
And then you're like, "Look at this photo that I found. Look at this one, I swear."
His mom posted this one. It's good. This is him on
I
LinkedIn.
still
It's professional.
I I still feel like if I stalk someone, and I don't think I've stalked someone in a long time, at least a year. But if I've stalked someone, I still feel a little bit self-conscious,
Why?
as if I shouldn't be telling people or my friends like shouldn't know that I did. But we all do it.
Oh, absolutely. I stalk people I don't even like just because I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're
Oh,
up to.
sometimes I do actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Like, oh, I haven't talked to them in a while. Whoa, they got married. Whoa, they're having a baby. Like, and then I just go down the rabbit hole.
Okay. Uh, I to be honest, I don't know that these are delusional at all. They're just whacked. Um, what about you like someone, you drive by their house?
Oh, is it on your way home?
I don't know.
I think it's, well, yeah, it's delusional, but
It's like maybe
I'd
they'll see
say,
me driving by. Maybe they'll
but like,
recognize my
okay,
car.
if it was already on your route and you pass it and you have those thoughts, yes, it's delusional, but it's not crazy.
Yeah.
Like for like, oh, they'll see my car passing by and they'll know I was here and they'll think about me. It's delusional, but you're not crazy if it was already on your route. Now, if it is not on your route and you're going out of your way, that's like that's
I know.
that's you're teetering on the edge of psychosis. Is that the right word? Of psychoticness?
I don't
You're
know.
teetering on the edge. You are about to fall off.
You are in the midst of falling.
You are in the midst of falling. If that's your thought. Now, you have fallen off if you stop the car and get out.
Oh my gosh.
Just keep driving by, then we're going to say that you can function in daily society.
Unless you're like good family friends with them or something and you were stopping by
That
already.
doesn't sound like this is what this has started out as,
No,
though.
it definitely wasn't. I'm just coming up with random things.
Like this would that's someone that is delusional would justify it that way. They'd be like, "Oh, we're family
Yeah,
friends. Let me
true.
just say I'm here to pick up some cookies or something." Oh, I've been to drop off these cookies from my mom.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
no,
delusional.
that would be the excuse. Right, right, right.
Yeah,
I've
and I think
definitely
that
done
gets
something like that before.
and that's a little delulu, but at least you have an
But
excuse to be there.
no, no, the reason let me clarify the reason I ever did
Okay.
anything like that. It's because we were neighbors, not because I like drove to their house.
But you made an excuse to go over there.
Oh, I make excuses to go over there all the time. Are you kidding? Yeah, of course.
And is that delusional?
Yeah.
Did you think it would make him love you?
I don't know. I think partially, probably. Like, not consciously. I
Right.
wasn't thinking, oh my gosh, if I'm at his house, he'll fall in love with me.
But you're like, but maybe.
Yeah,
What if
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
what if it just happened?
Thinking back to that time of life is hilarious. Okay. What about along the lines of stalking their mom's Facebook, looking up their ex?
Is this a boyfriend or just a person you have a crush on?
I don't know. In my
I don't think that's delusional. That is just like,
here's a scenario I think about.
okay.
The scenario I think would be I have a crush on this person. Let me look up their ex. Do they look like me or not? And then if they do, I'm like, oh my gosh, they'll for sure like me.
That's delusional. Okay. That is. Yes. But
So that
also, I can't say I wouldn't do it. But it's like delusional to think that, oh, they will like me because I look like their ex. That's weird.
but then you're like, do they have a type?
Yeah, that's
Maybe that's
true.
their type.
Maybe that's their type. Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
my last one.
You can justify all these delusions to me.
I know, same actually. That's why women are horrible. Okay. Uh what about this is specifically for people in college.
Oh, okay.
So, what about memorizing someone's class schedule or their walk pattern? Like what time they're walking out of a certain building or what time you're walking around, and then so that you'll purposely run into them.
I did this in college.
I know.
That's how I got my first boyfriend.
I think I may have done it too, though.
Golly, my first boyfriend thought it was an act of God that we happened to be in the same place at the same time, but I had just memorized his schedule.
Which I think is the funniest thing
That's why
ever.
you asked me out. So you know what, ladies? Stay delusional.
Stay
Because
delusional.
I have proven time and time again that delusion is working.
Well, and here's the thing. I think delusions prove that women rule the world.
I like, do you listen to that one Taylor Swift song, Mastermind?
No.
Okay, but it basically talks about that. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what? I have orchestrated like, it's not delusional if I've orchestrated it and that's successful.
But it still is a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, okay? But you know what? The being delusional is playing the long game.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
Like, you can't be delusional and expect it to happen overnight. Delusional is the long game. You just have to be delusional for long enough for it to become true.
Oh my gosh. The
Well,
problem with delusion is that women encourage each other to be delusional, and then there's no boundary to when the delusion stops.
yeah. But then it's because there's always like one success story, and you're like, well, it worked for her.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly.
let me try it.
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I used to do that in high school too, memorize class schedules. And it wasn't like you did it on purpose, but you would be like, after enough time, you'd be like,
Yeah,
oh,
you
this
just
person
know.
is in this place at the same time. Now, sometimes there was a little effort into it
Yeah.
because you'd be like, oh, they're going to be hanging out here at this time. Let me stumble
Right.
upon it. And boys are stupid and they never see the pattern. They're like, crazy that you're here. And you're like, yeah, it's so crazy I'm here. Actually, I planned this out 3 weeks ago.
Oh man.
You think
Well,
I'm looking extra cute today on random? No.
nope.
I
Yeah,
knew we
no.
were going to see each other.
Oh man. Well,
Anyways, I think what we've learned here today is that we are part of the delusion.
absolutely.
But it spices up life, I think.
I do too. A little
Like,
too much sometimes.
yeah, but I also think that girls have more fun because we're a
That's
little
true.
delusional
That's true.
until we hurt ourselves, our feelings.
Yeah, actually, yes, yes, yes.
So it's fun until it's not. It's fun in groups.
Yeah, actually.
in group
Well,
settings.
let us know your delusional
Yeah, send us some
scenarios.
scenarios and we'll help answer next time maybe if they're delusional or not.
um, hope that you all enjoyed and maybe laughed with us a bit. And we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye. Hey, we're glad you made it to the end of our episode. If you'd like to check us out on social media, you can follow us at Instagram or our YouTube with the same name at WH0 underscore ARE underscore THEY underscore. Or you can check us out on TikTok at Who Are They Pod.
Thanks again for listening, and make sure to join us again next Tuesday.
Bye.